Name that tempo.
120.
You're right. It is. Welcome to episode 5
Of Two Tunes Podcast.
Two Tunes.
Two Tunes.
Yeah, this week it's good. I got a lot.
Yeah.
Lot to say. I loved your tune.
Sweet. I'm glad.
There's one thing that annoys me,
Yeah.
and I'll explain.
Okay.
Do you want your song to go first or second?
Sure. Why not?
All right.
I don't remember what we did last time, so.
I think you went first.
Okay, then you go first.
Okay, so my song is 5.5 Minute Hallway by Poe.
Love the title.
Okay. Then.
I probably like the title more than the song,
All right.
personally.
Okay.
It's not bad,
All right, so.
but not my jam.
Huge thing. All right, so how do I start this? Okay, so Poe, her real name is Anne Daniewski,
Okay.
and she has a brother named Mark Z. Daniewski.
Okay.
Mark is an author,
Mm-hmm.
so he writes books, and his first book was called House of Leaves.
Oh,
Do you know of it?
I own it and have never read it. Big, massive book.
Yeah.
Lots of things going on, like very interconnected, different something or other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then I'm going to educate you on
Sweet,
a book
can't
you
wait.
have.
A book I have, but I have not read.
Okay,
Which is a lot of books.
Is it the hardcover?
No.
Okay, so it's soft cover.
Yes.
All right. So have you ever noticed that the very front cover is like not as long as the book itself?
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
it's not common-ish thing, but I've seen enough.
There's a reason.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's a
Is it a fold out?
no.
Okay.
So so this book has a cover, and it's just the front cover,
Right.
and it's like a quarter of an inch too short,
Mm-hmm.
and that's done on purpose, 100% on purpose.
Right.
And it even has like the little fold around
Yeah.
thing on it. So this is a book. Welcome to a book podcast. Okay, so this is a book that does not work in audio form. Will not work in audio form.
Mm-hmm.
Only works in print media. Doesn't work on Kindle or Nook
Mm-hmm.
or whatever
Yeah.
reader app you have. Does not work because there's certain aspects of the book that the story engulfs you in.
Okay.
So there's this scene where like these people are like running through this hallway and doors are slamming behind them,
Mm-hmm.
and the doors are slamming behind them as you're turning the page.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like door after door after door. And so like there could be like 3 words on a page,
Right.
and then you're turning the page to get that aspect of I'm flipping, these doors are closing,
Right,
and
right,
my
right.
hand is like the thing that's making these doors close.
That's cool.
There's also like you have to like turn the book and
Okay.
stuff. It's
yeah,
weird.
that's what I feel like I remember. I don't know when I picked this book up, why I picked this book up,
Okay.
whatever, but I do remember sort of that flipping through and realizing like, oh, there's something
Yeah.
about this. Yeah.
Okay. So there's 3 levels of story
Okay.
to it. The base level, it's not where you start. It's kind of where you end up.
Of course.
Well, we could do this. We'll start like who you start with. So there's a character, the name of him, Johnny Truant
Okay.
is the character's name. And he is living...
Don't spoil this book for me, by the way.
You can't spoil it because it's that type of thing that like
Sure.
you have to read it.
Yeah.
Like there's it's weird.
Yeah.
Like like the act of reading it is part of the experience
Sure.
of the story. Like
Yeah.
you can't, because there's different ways of reading this.
Yeah.
You could read it in like 100 different ways and
Okay.
you would get a different experience out of it. So you start off by this guy, Johnny Truant. He's looking for an apartment or something like that, and then this guy in his friend's apartment complex dies, and he gets into that apartment, and that guy's name is Zampano. Zampano is blind. I'm probably pronouncing the thing
Sure.
wrong. So
That's one of those things you read it.
yeah,
You've never said it out loud. Like me and Hermione and Harry Potter. I was
yeah.
like, oh, not Hermione. Okay, sure.
So Johnny gets this. There's a crate filled with papers and things, and what the papers are. So that's like the next level down. Is
Okay.
he's reading these
Okay.
papers,
Right.
and then he's commenting on the papers.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the papers, like him responding to the papers, are cliff notes, not cliff
Okay.
notes, but
Annotations,
yeah,
like in the margin and
annotations.
stuff. Okay.
So like there's like 2 pages of annotations. Like you're like, there's a number in the text, and then you go down to read the annotation, and it could be like 3 pages,
Right.
and then you have to come back
Okay.
to pick up where you left
Yeah.
off. So like,
Footnote kind of thing.
yes,
and that
footnotes.
Kinda, yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
I've totally. There's plenty of books like that where it's like they have an appendix, and then you like jump back like to the back of the book and read the thing and the note, and then jump back. In.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very weird like that, and also the font changes,
Okay.
and every time that the word house is written, it's in blue.
Interesting.
Yeah, blue ink. So it's like he does weird things like that. Like
Yeah.
Mark Z. Danielewski, like print media is his
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah. That's cool.
You can't do it. There's another book. It's called Only Revolutions. There's 360 pages in the whole book. Every chapter or every page is 360 words. There's 2 stories going on at the same time.
Okay.
And you read one from cover to cover, and then you have to flip it over to read the other story, and it's like 2 characters
Interesting.
telling the exact same story, but like through
That's cool.
each other.
Oh, it's like the last 5 years, the musical. You aware of that?
No.
It's about like a relationship and this couple, and like they're one of them starts from like the beginning of the relationship, and one of them starts at the end of the relationship, and then throughout the show they continue to tell their story in either direction. So anyway, so then at the end of the show they wind up in the different spots. So then the one who started at the beginning is now at the end, and the one who started at the end is at the beginning. So it's like one of them is like super hopeful, all this new relationship and all these opportunities in life and blah blah blah, and the other one starts out like my marriage is in a shambles and blah 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 and all this other stuff. And then but at some point they meet
Bend your
in
bread
the
and button
middle,
it.
sort of, yeah. But it's like at one point they're telling again from their each own perspective, but at the same point, and then they cross and continue on. And
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
like those ideas.
and then you also reminded me of, have you read The Never-Ending Story?
No.
So that book, it just, when you said about the different font, reminded me, I think it's like green and red fonts depending on which world you're in. I haven't seen or read that in a long time, but it's like you're in the real world or you're in whatever the land. There's people yelling at me right now of what the land is called, whatever the fantasy.
I was going to say Narnia.
Right? Yeah, no, like I have all these things like going in my head that they're not the correct thing, but you get the idea.
Yeah. So back to the book that we're talking about to
Right.
talk about a song. So level 1, Johnny reading these notes. Level 2, the notes themselves.
Right.
Now it really takes place that like this guy's blind.
Okay.
And then what his little essay thing that he's writing, Zampano is writing, is on a documentary movie.
Okay.
And then in the documentary, which is Navidson is the family. So Navidson's there. I don't know any of the names, but I know there's like a husband, a wife, and then 2 kids.
Okay.
A boy and a girl. Now that idea there, of the husband who's a filmmaker, the wife who's a model, and then 2 kids, boy and girl. That is Mark C. Danielewski is a little boy,
Okay.
and Danielewski is a little girl.
Okay.
So like, it's kind of
Is it biographical?
yes,
Ish?
sort of
Okay,
ish. I mean, what happens is not at all
Okay.
biographical, but it was kind of it's inspired by their childhood.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's going on in this movie, quote unquote movie that doesn't exist?
Right.
It's completely fictitious, made up. They bought this house, trying to kind of maybe like piece back their marriage together.
Okay.
Because he was filming stuff, and then because he's a filmmaker, something weird happens. And what's weird in the house is like they discover a closet.
Okay.
Like it just appeared out of nowhere.
Speaking of Narnia.
And then they measure the house, and it's a quarter of an inch bigger on the inside than it
Okay.
is on the outside.
Oh, so they
which
live in a
ties it-
TARDIS.
Yes. Which is the measurement of the cover of the book to the book itself.
Oh, interesting.
So like that's, as I said, print
Right.
media. This needs to happen in print media. It does not. A lot of the things don't work in in digital.
Right.
So that's happening, and then other things happen. So like in their living room, but he starts videotaping everything.
Question for you, just because this is what I'm thinking of. Is this one of those things where it's like, this is untranslatable to film?
He's apparently trying.
That's kind of, I feel like I've heard that too, that like it's in development, as they say.
Yeah, well, he wrote like as a TV series. He wrote like 3 episodes
of House of Leaves.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, but it's like it's meta because like he talks about himself and the book,
Right.
and like I haven't read them.
I
but
feel
know
like
that
it's one of those things that like could work, like where like The Witcher, spoilers I guess, but like where it's multiple storylines, timelines happening at the same time, but you sort of see how they intertwine and stuff. So okay, that's cool.
So the first one, so there's like little trailers, you could think of them as, that he makes like within these things, and like they apparently got out there and watching these things. But those are the 3 levels. But then there's this one scene that like stuck in my head where they found this hallway just appeared in the middle of their living room, and there were 2 windows on the side. Think of like 2 windows, and then there's this door. And this film shot is they go out the one window, around the side where there's no wall, like it's just the facade of the house, go in through the other window, and then go in through the doorway. I'm probably not describing that correctly, but doorway, windows on either side. They go outside, there's nothing except the side of the house, go to the other window, come in, and then go into the hallway. And apparently that's called Exploration B, which is a song on this album Haunted.
Right, I noticed that.
And then they have another one where they like go in, and it's a 5.5-minute clip of the hallway. And that's where this song's name comes from. 5.5-minute hallway. So in the making of the book and the album, they were just collaborating, but like in completely different mediums, because one is written word and the other is in sound.
Yeah.
So so back and forth going and being like, ooh, that's really cool, but I think that means this, or like, check this out, and then they would steal from each other.
So not necessarily intended to be companion pieces.
Yeah.
But they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the other side, their father had just died. Supposedly, I don't know the timeline of everything. This is all like the book came out and the album both came out in 2000.
Okay. I thought it said 2004, but
no,
that's wrong. Okay.
Maybe it got online on 2004.
Oh, that's true.
But no, they were both released in 2000. And then there's some interesting things that happen with just that year. Now, I was told one thing by them. So I was most of my information is from them at like a Borders event.
Okay. Sweet.
So it was
I miss Borders.
Yeah.
Still love Borders.
it was in Cleveland. I was at Borders. I read the book summer of 2000, and then I'm going to college at Kent State in Ohio, and it was like kind of like on the way down.
I think I knew you went to Kent State
for a year.
That's cool.
Yeah. So went to this Borders on a Sunday night, October 29th. I looked up all this information.
Sure. Yeah,
it's not like I remember the day. I remember like being there.
It was cloudy. It was.
Yeah, and no, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was dark. That's all I remember because it was October.
Can I tell you a random Border story that I just
sure.
thought about? I was at the Borders that used to be over in Mechanicsburg, Camp Hill-ish area. Sure. I don't know specifically what the address is, but I was just like chilling in the cafe side, and they had these like random free periodical magazine, different types of things sitting there, and I just like grabbed one at random, and I was reading through, and it was a bunch of poetry and stuff, or maybe it was stories, I can't even remember. But what I do remember is that it was my friend Jenna whose like thing was in this. That's what the thing I can't remember, was it like an essay or a story or a poem? I don't remember. I just remember that it was my friend Jenna from high school, and I was like, whoa, this is random. And it was like this national thing or whatever. That's so cool. Anyway, that's my random Border story.
Yeah, very random, interjecting. So
that's how my brain works, Bo.
It's okay. So I'm at this Borders. And it was like a reading and a performance.
Sure.
It was very weird. It was just those two, and then like Poe was doing mainly like karaoke kind of ideas of stuff that was coming out
Okay.
on the record. And the record hadn't come out yet. So I found the book through Amazon. It was like, here's a book. Did you like the Blair Witch Project? You might like this, because it's
Right.
kind of like a haunted house, a bit like found footage type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of cool. So all of that information is from them directly.
Okay.
Now, I remember that they were saying how, okay, this is October 29th, and the album hadn't come out yet, because it was out. It was coming out on Tuesday, October 31st,
Okay.
Halloween.
All right.
And
Back
back
when music
then,
used to come out on a Tuesday.
exactly, books and music came out on Tuesdays. Movies came out on Tuesdays. I
No,
don't-
movies were always Fridays.
Okay, but not in theaters. I'm talking about like on DVD.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, so most things came out in stores. You could buy them on Tuesdays, movies on whatever. Now, like, books are still Tuesdays, but
I think so.
music is like whenever.
Fridays. It's usually Fridays, though, the big
Yeah.
releases.
So timing matters, right? So, this album is called Haunted. It's coming out on Halloween
Right.
on a Tuesday. Okay. Now, what they told me was that this the book.
Specifically, Bo Barber.
No. Pay attention.
Everyone else, go away.
You'll-
Just plug your ears.
Yes. No, what I was told is that the book came out on February 29th,
Okay. Leap year or leap day. Yeah.
leap day of 2000, which the book is about a house that is bigger on the inside and than on the outside,
Right.
and that is the only day that the day is longer than any other year. So
Okay.
like it was a Tuesday. So the weirdness that is, this came out on the day that is longer, that makes the year longer every
Right.
4 years,
Right.
and Halloween, because this is called Haunted, and
Yeah.
there's some like haunting things.
Yeah.
That was like kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool,
That's very cool.
and very like
And
weird
obviously
as well.
planned and
But if you look
yeah.
if you look on Wikipedia, it says it was like the 7th, which is a week later that the
Oh.
book came out. So I don't know if it was factual or not,
Uh-huh.
but because the internet, whatever, but the internet could lie.
Yeah.
But back to their father. The father had died. He had made a bunch of tapes, like
Okay.
audio tapes, and what she did was she then like kind of like spliced things up.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of, I'm not going to call them skits, but there's audio stuff
Yeah.
that is a little girl talking to her father, and her father is saying some things, and that kind of like bleeds into the story, because it's kind of like a concept album, and all this thing is kind of tied together. It's like the book and the album are both the story of their family
Right.
in their own weird way.
Yeah.
I always liked this song because the idea was, so it's like the 5.5 minute hallway was a video of like, oh, this hallway that keeps growing. Those are lyrics in the song,
Right.
and the way that Poe said is like, yeah, it's the idea that you can be right next to somebody, but you could be miles apart from each other
Yeah.
in
Interesting.
kind of like a relationship idea.
Right.
So this came out in 2000, Halloween.
Interesting. Question for you. Do you have this on CD?
Yes.
Is there a bonus, like a hidden track?
No. So there is.
Because it just would make sense that there would be. I mean, obviously, like if you pull it up on Spotify, just all the tracks are there,
Yeah.
whatever.
So if you pull it up on Spotify, it's all the songs. There's no hidden tracks. But
Is there
on
like a
Spotify,
zero track?
no. There's nothing.
Are you sure?
Maybe, I don't know. I'll go check. But there's like in the liner notes, there's like things of like this, like referencing the book.
Okay. Yeah.
Like this page to this page, this page to this page, and
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
per song, like kind of connecting them even closer together.
Yeah.
So it's very cool the way that they're connected, and it's
Right.
like such a cool idea. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I don't know.
4 hours into this episode.
Yeah.
No, I'm liking all this. This is cool.
Yeah, this is a good episode.
That's going to push that book up towards the top of my list.
You really,
next.
everyone should read
I'm
it.
currently reading a book. I have the next book on deck. I've been trying to like alternate fiction, nonfiction. So like I'm currently reading nonfiction. Fiction's up next. that I think might be my next nonfiction.
But remember, it's kind of trying because you gotta
Sure. Yeah.
like it's not for people who don't like to read or just like I like easy books,
Right.
Because this is not an easy book to
Right.
read.
This is Ulysses' Infinite
Yes.
Jest. Those kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
Do I need like? Is there? What's the word I'm looking for? Like a
The Cliff Notes.
not a Cliff Notes, but like a compendium or something, like an extra companion book or something. To,
I mean, you could join the Facebook group
sure.
where everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start it.
Cool.
Let's start.
I live at the end of a 5.5-minute hallway, but as far as I can see,
So it's interesting that you said it came out in 2000 and
Yep.
not 2004 like Spotify says, because in my head I was like, this sounds earlier than 2004.
Yeah,
This sounds
it is.
mid to late 90s. So she was working on it
Yeah,
probably at earliest 98, 99, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it has that vibe to it, which is not a knock. It just gave me that vibe
Right.
of things.
pausing it there. She had a hit before,
Right.
Like Lilith Fair type
Yes,
times.
and that's exactly where my head went when I saw the name and when I started hearing the song. I was like, I'm aware of Poe, but like that's as deep as it goes. Like
Yeah.
aware of.
So,
or even recognize the logo with the star as the O and all that
The
stuff.
Poe
and-
ball.
Yeah. Okay.
that's
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 a thing.
that's
I
it
100% believe you. I'm moving my chair. It's loud. Sorry.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything since this,
Right.
because she got kind of screwed over
Oh.
in her
okay.
contract
Oh.
and stuff like that. And they're just like, we own you. We own the name Poe. And I was like, but I want to make music. And she hasn't,
Yeah.
as far as I know. She follows me on Instagram,
Nice.
which is like, what? No.
She should follow Two Tunes podcast.
She
when,
should.
when we tag her. In this
We
episode,
are
we'll-
totally going to tag her in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
and be like, hey, we talked about your song.
Do you know who else should follow Two Tunes podcast on Instagram? by
All
the
of
way?
you at home.
Everybody listening to this. Thank you. Okay, bye.
All right. So this so far is like acoustic guitar,
Yep.
vocals.
Yeah.
Very close, very dry.
Uh-huh.
A
A little bit of string something or other popped in there as well
There-
that I was
there
talking
is.
over. But
Yes.
I just played along 'cause I was home.
But then
Now it expands out.
widens up and gets really, really big.
on the word home,
Yeah.
by the way, you said about house like expanding and stuff.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Like all of this is built in there of
Uh-huh.
like it's directly tied to the book. And when you listen to the book or when you read the book, there isn't an audiobook for that.
right.
Because you can't do it.
Yeah.
Anyways. So it gets bigger and then it gets smaller and there's
There's so far I can go. When you're living in a hallway that keeps growing, I think
this is
to myself,
good lyrical cut. 5 more minutes and right? Which is kind of reiterated at the end or in the next chorus. And there's the strings.
Right.
to this story, then I've let him on.
More to the story that I'm letting on.
In a letter, unwritten, and yes, I forgive you for leading me on. You can think of it
And she produced this and recorded it, I believe, all herself.
Okay, cool.
Which is like hard to do in 2000.
Right.
Like Pro Tools, maybe?
And yeah, Pro Tools 1.
Yeah, Pro Tools 1.
And just when I think I find the trick,
Gets bigger.
I'm tumbling like an echo.
And then when I'm tumbling like an echo and actually having the echo.
Yeah. There's some other like in the different channels, like some different sounds and little
Yeah.
things happening. Again, like you know, if there's a house with secret places and things, and so sounds and different stuff, it's kind of cool.
And then right here, 30 seconds in. Right? So there's the rest of the time.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Right.
And then it gets really big. Which there's like a maze in this house.
Okay.
Like it becomes a labyrinth.
Right.
And there's like a monster in it. And it's like
Okay.
complete darkness in the book.
Right.
Which is applied to some of the songs on this album.
Okay.
And this is all like outro leading into
Right.
the I'll call them skits.
Yeah.
But then they're also like really creepy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, as I heard, I only listened to this track, but I caught that too. I was like, there's got to be a through line through this in some way, whether it's, I didn't obviously know about the book, but.
You can listen to this while you read the book.
Right. I like that effect. I always think of it as like a muffled or like underwater almost.
It's a low pass filter.
We cannot really
That is her
experiment
father.
with love
Okay.
as freely as we think. It is really a much more complicated.
And then she's editing things. Like that was.
Right. It's interesting. It almost sounded like, as we hear the beginning of the next tune, it almost sounded like it was taken from a movie or something. Like I just assumed it was some, I don't know, almost like 30s or something film or whatever that they 30s, 40s, 50s.
No, it's just like him on tape, like just talking. Because there's like, they might have been home movies. They could have been.
Right.
Because like,
Well, if he's a filmmaker, like I feel like their home movies, quote unquote, as I make air quotes, are different than yours and mine would be.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like more artsy or something.
Because this was probably like in the 70s.
70s probably, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like on a 35 millimeter
Right,
camera or 8 millimeter, whatever that was there. All right. That's my tune.
I like it. I have more appreciation for it now. That's what I like.
The title track, Haunted, was actually in the end credits of the second Blair Witch Project.
Okay. The something of Esriver.
No.
What?
That's not what the second...
Blair Witch 2.
Yeah.
Something about Esriver or whatever. Or maybe that's not the subtitle, but there's a thing about Esriver.
I think it's just the something book. Something, I don't know.
Dude, I'm telling you.
All right. Cool. By the way, Blair Witch, those were good movies.
They were good. I had the first one not spoiled for me, but like I had heard about it before I saw it.
This would have been a really great episode to have in October.
That's true. Oh, well.
Well, it's probably February.
Yeah,
maybe March.
we'll see.
Anyways, okay, so
it's the future.
It's the future, yes. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, listen to the end.
We'll listen to the whole thing, but then especially at the end.
Yeah. All right, so your tune.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the guy's name?
Oh, it's so fun, right? So it's, if you're looking at it, it's R.LUM.R.
And those are all capital.
Correct. It's R.LUM.R.
Okay.
So his name is, I'm sorry, I did not do as much research as you did.
Bastard.
I didn't go to a whole thing. But his name, I believe, is like Reginald Lamar something, or maybe it's just Reginald Lamar, like whatever. And so he realized, oh wait, if I abbreviate my first name and use I think it's his middle name. I could just look it up, but it rhymes like R.LUM.R. And so that's how he did it. And then he could just kind of stylized it by spelling it with that way. I found out about this guy probably maybe like a year or two ago. A friend of mine who's in a band called Dynamo, Josh Blaylock, he plays keys in that band, and he does all kinds of cool stuff on his own and plays with all kinds of different people. He was just on, oh gosh, was he on like Jimmy Kimmel or like The Tonight Show or something, backing somebody? He's out of Nashville, and I think he played with R.LUM.R. and on like one of his more recent things, and was like talking about him and hyping him up and stuff. And I'm like, well, if Josh likes him, then like I'm definitely gonna like him. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah, I like
and
this song
this
a lot.
track especially. I don't know. I'm like a romantic kind of guy, but also like a heart on my sleeve kind of guy and all that kind of stuff and whatever. And like, so this tune about like the lyrics and stuff really got to me of like, what if I just love you less? Like, is that going to work for you? Like if I just back off and whatever. So, yeah, but also like, it's just kind of I like the production stuff, which I thought you might.
Oh yeah, I really
dig
do.
into as
well.
well.
There is one thing that bugs me.
That's what you said
One
earlier.
thing.
I'm curious what it is.
It's a tiny thing, and I think that you won't like it as well.
Okay.
You don't notice it throughout.
Are you going to ruin this song for me?
I might. No. Like, okay, so this song is great. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
There's one thing, and it's a tuning issue.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's just like, if
you don't think it's purposeful, you think it was something missed.
Oh no. They I don't think they thought about it.
Okay.
We'll just start playing
cool.
it.
Let's get in. Yeah.
First, let me apologize. Cause I know you're not gonna like this conversation.
I love those things. Like
Yeah.
I don't maybe
The like doubled vocal thing.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
also like it's the same line. They just like let's drop it an
Yeah.
octave, but
And-
like using an effect.
Yeah.
So like this song has a lot of that, and
Yeah.
which I really love.
Yeah.
I've been kinda hard to find.
And also the simplicity.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, very syncopated, but everything's
Thinking about
in the pocket. And,
how I surprised to you. I'm undecided on what I'm supposed to do. I think I'm lying when I think I'm telling truth. Either way, that's still unfair to you. It's hard enough escaping
I like
my
that
reflection.
texture change at that moment.
Yes, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think the form of this is?
Oh gosh, I have not analyzed it. that far.
Because the think part that we just ended,
Okay.
and then the hard part, like it's hard to blah blah blah, whatever the words are.
Yeah.
Both those parts, they're okay. It's like either 4 or 8 measures, depending on how.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel this really slower,
Like a halftime kind of feel.
Yeah. I feel it as a
get that.
halftime thing.
Yeah.
But you could do it at like, you know what I wrote? You could do it at 129. I
Nice.
think it's like 60, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. 64.5.
There we go.
Which is probably not because it's a difficult
Right.
tempo to run. So the think part is 4 8 measures depending on how you count it, and then the hard part, and then they repeat it. The verses are weird also because that first verse is like 4 8 measures depending on how you count it.
Yeah.
4 or 8 measures for the first verse, and then we'll get into it. But I wanted to like, is this the pre-chorus?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a really long pre-chorus.
This is one of those things because I do a form thing with my theory 1 students at the beginning of every year, and it's one of those things where I have them define, tell me what sections you know of a song, and they're always like intro and chorus and verse, and then like bridge, although they don't really know what bridge is, but they know it's a thing, and then they'll say outro, and like maybe sometimes they'll think about pre-chorus or maybe post-chorus or whatever as we go in. But then, and this is where we get into more, where I try to push them, is that we get into more formal analysis stuff, like form analysis, where it's actually, we just simplify down to letters.
Yeah.
Because we realize verse, chorus, pre-chorus, whatever, sometimes doesn't,
Sometimes it doesn't apply.
it just doesn't apply. It's just, this is, we have the A section, we have a B section, here's the C section, here's whatever, you know what I mean? And it just,
Totally.
but it's,
Totally
it
understand.
kind of reminds me of that too.
Like a
It's
chorus is a specific thing.
right.
A chorus is like, this is the main idea of the whole song.
And we're going to come back to it.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah.
Verses, it's like an expansion of the story.
Right.
It's like,
I always say exposition. This is where you're telling the story.
exactly,
This
where-
is, chorus is the highlight of the story.
and
yeah.
then there could be other sections where it's like, well, it's not really the verse because we did that already, and it's different.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
and then when you get into whole things of like, sometimes they take the backing track or the music, if you will, of the verse, but it's used under the chorus this time and whatever, and it's like,
I do that every week with my kids.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, every week. And now we've been actually like doing it in person instead of just like, go figure it out.
Right.
Now it's like me showing them.
Yeah.
Like, this is this.
That's cool.
Listen to this. All right.
Action and thinking what he's thinking about too.
That's a vocoder.
I
Yeah.
know that all
So
you
they're just playing
wanted
a
was
chord.
Yeah.
affection. Something I could never do. What if I love?
And then it gets real cool. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Because they haven't really had like a steady beat
Right.
until then.
I love that. That little, like, almost like they flip it around. You know all the technical terms that I don't know.
I would call it a riser.
Okay.
It's a very short one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed it.
Doing this the thing.
I missed. No, not the bad thing. The
Oh,
bad
okay.
thing happens next.
I keep
But-
like looking at you to like,
You're like, when is it gonna
get the
happen?
tell of like when it's
No,
gonna
but
happen.
like here's a cool thing.
Yeah.
All right. So this whole song is 2 chords.
Okay.
The
yeah.
whole song is 2 chords.
Uh-huh.
Whole song is 2
Yeah.
chords. It is. I was figuring it out today.
Sweet.
This is in F minor.
Uh-huh.
So A flat.
Uh-huh.
You can't hear it because whatever. And then it just goes to F.
Should I go play the janky piano?
No.
No.
It's
It's just F to A flat. back and
that's
forth?
it. Back and forth the whole time. The whole time. Now,
So
the
is it an A
bass-
flat or is it an F minor?
You're good question. Good question.
Or is
this,
it in
this website, or is it Lydian? No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
right.
Actually, it might
Super
be.
Locrian, I think.
He kind of hangs around C a lot, though, which is weird.
Cool.
Anyways, I love. So it just goes back and forth between those
Yeah.
chords. Hopefully, that right there, that chord. Okay, so chord 1, root position. Chord 2, root position. Then the bass goes down. Third version, second version,
Yeah.
and then it comes back up to the end. Right. I kind of wish it didn't come back to just root position. I wish it was just like the bass line would keep going down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then it comes down. And then it goes up. All right. Now, the melody has never touched G. Never touched G. The chords don't include G. Okay. Now listen to the kick drum.
That pitch is it G?
Yeah. Is a G. And that's not the root. That's the second. It's the 2.
Okay.
This is if this is an F. Even if it's in A flat,
you're on the leading
that's
tone.
the 7th, and it's just like, ugh. So I don't know if anyone's gonna notice this, except for me and you now. But like, listen, like hum the kind of your tonic.
Hum the G. Is that G?
Yeah, it's clashy, right? Like you want to either move one or the other.
I already know what you gon' say.
No, you're singing A,
Oh,
How you feeling?
but that kick,
And maybe we can compensate.
is it though?
I tried to figure it out because it bugs me. It bugs me. That's the thing that bugs me about this
I don't
whole
know.
song.
It does not bug me at all
It bugs me because it's such a prominent. It's just like, so you're in
because
this,
it's more pitched and
yes,
yeah.
because it's a pitched kick drum. You have all of this stuff all this harmonic material, melodic material that is like, hear the notes, hear the notes, hear the
Right.
notes, hear the notes, and then you drop everything, just vocals and the kick drum and the snare,
right.
and then
I already know what you gon' say.
and it's just clashy.
Better be predicting how you feeling. And maybe we can compensate.
Like you get used to it after a while,
Yeah.
but it's just like, that's weird.
Well, I know that you're trying to help.
I don't know. It doesn't, to my ear, doesn't clash. But I appreciate that you did the work.
I'm undecided on what I'm supposed to do. I think I'm lying when I think I'm telling truth. Either way, that's
Yeah, the lyrical content of this, that line too, I
hard enough escaping my reflection.
think I'm lying when I'm telling truth. Like it's interesting, like just perspectives within any kind of relationship, friendships, romantic relationships, and whatever. Like you feel like you're helping and saying the right thing or trying to do the right thing or whatever, but to the other person, it's like, nah, dude, like that's not. It's either a lie, outright lie, or just an omission, or just like doesn't quite hit right. It's interesting.
Now, when we talk about these things, like you have lived with this song a lot longer than I have,
Right.
So like the lyrical content is, for me, it's
Deeply embedded into me. Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So for me it doesn't, like lyrics. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's
I
not
haven't
your
gotten
thing in
it.
general either. but
It's
also-
not.
Yeah.
I really love chordal stuff. Okay, so it's not just the 2 chords the whole time.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah.
So I retract my earlier statement that it's just 2 chords, but the like verse chorus all the same
Yeah.
chords, and then this is where it's different.
And that's something that always impresses me too, as somebody who teaches and works with harmony and whatever. In that, there's like the whole 4 chords thing, or even like punk rock 3 chords, whatever. But
Yeah.
like you can get 2 chords the whole time, and you can make this whole thing in like different sections and all this other
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's so impressive.
We'll talk about it later or after
Yeah.
this, and then it goes down to E flat, and go back up to F.
Yeah, I love that tune.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I just have the little gripe with it,
that's funny.
which is tiny, minuscule. It's just a thing that I noticed. I'm like, that's weird, because I was trying to figure out like, well, okay, let me like break it down, like
Yeah.
really, really break it down,
Yeah.
not just be like, oh, here's like I tried to do form and
Right,
stuff.
man. You did. I gotta step my game up. The first like couple episodes, I was like taking notes and had all these things, and now I'm just like, yeah, man, this is what it is. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you, in particular, this guy has a degree in classical guitar.
Cool.
Yeah, and then he was like, I'm gonna move to Nashville and not do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. He's from Florida originally.
Yes.
That's what something told me. I think it was
Wikipedia or something.
no, I think it was iTunes actually.
Oh, okay.
Or
Interesting.
sorry, Apple Music,
Oh,
whatever it is. No, that simple idea. Sorry, I'm getting
don't check
distracted.
your email.
No, it really is. So the simple idea. So we were breaking down Billie Eilish Ocean Eyes.
Okay.
It's
Is that the new one?
no, it's
No,
her
no, it's
first.
a-
Like this
okay.
is what made her
Yeah,
famous.
yeah, okay.
It's 3 chords the whole time. Like nothing changes.
Right.
Like just how you maybe 4. But just at the end of everything. But it's like it's how you build it up. It's how
Right.
it's the textures of things. Yeah, I'm getting emails from people who are like, I'm confused. Maybe you should come to class then. Sorry,
Got him.
got him. Yeah, so those are our 2 tunes this week: 5.5 Minute Hallway by Poe and Love Less by R.LUM.R.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, we encourage you to obviously go listen to these tunes without us yapping over top of them.
Definitely.
And check out more artists and stuff. If you have people that you want us to check out or tunes you want us to listen to and talk about, please let us know. Send us a DM on Instagram at Two Tunes Podcast.
Or email us at twotunespodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Sweet. All right.
And leave us a review.
yeah, on
It
whatever
it apparently helps us. We
helps
don't know yet.
the algorithm or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
algorithms.
Cool. Sweet. Well, join us next week as well for 2 more tunes on Two Tunes Podcast. We still don't have a sign off. We probably never will. It'll just be
No, we
us
don't have an intro. We don't have an outro.
saying
We just end.
dumb things.
Yep. Until I hit the end, which is now.
Sweet.
Bye.
Bye.